Today, I'm going to be talking about the Benz and how it started the shift for Radiohead from being just another grunge band to being one of the best of the 90s. So, Pablo Honey came out in 1993, and by the way, I already made a video about that album, so I highly recommend checking that out before this one. As I said, Pablo Honey came out in 1993, Creep blew up and became the song, and Radiohead immediately got pigeonholed as a one-hit wonder band for sad people. Not great. The band now hates the way they're being perceived. Thom Yorke's dealing with burnout, touring, and just generally he's exhausted. And the dread of being known for a song he wrote in college about self-loathing and rejection. Which is fair enough, I wouldn't want to be known as that guy either, honestly. 1993 to 1994, they do a lot of touring. They opened for bands like R.E.M., which is huge because R.E.M. was the gold standard for alt-rock at the time. The guys start absorbing those influences from the people that surround him. More atmosphere, more subtlety, less just angsty yelling. They were writing some new material on the road, demoing between shows, and trying to kill Creep once and for all by evolving and doing it fast. The Benz comes out in 1995, and immediately we can tell it's the album where Radiohead stops trying to sound like another band and starts to sound like Radiohead. Right from the first seconds of Planet Telex, with the weird reverse delay, I think it's a piano thing, and the drunken drum groove, you know we've taken it up a notch in terms of quality. The sound is bigger, it's spacier, it's sadder, and just overall a lot more textured. And it's not that they've just learned about what reverb is, it's that there's a lot more confidence here to be heard. On Pablo Honey, sometimes the guitars felt like they were fighting for space, but here everything blends together nicely. One of the big reasons for the change in sound was Nigel Godrich, who worked as an assistant engineer here, but would later become Radiohead's unofficial sixth member and be their sound engineer or producer or whatever the term is for all of their later albums. Although the band wouldn't really fully trust him with their stuff until Kid A, but that's for another day. Another big change in this album is Thom Yorke's singing and lyrics. It goes from whatever it was in the last album to what we know it to be today. You can definitely tell he's been listening to a lot of Jeff Buckley, who is one of Radiohead's biggest influences. I'll definitely make a video about Jeff Buckley's album at some point. This is the first time that we hear Thom's falsetto used like an instrument in the way that it should be used, and not just singing because they need a singer. The lyrics also take a leap here to be more introspective, more cynical, and far more emotionally mature, I think. The album's main theme is identity in a media-saturated world, and as we'll see later, Thom is struggling to connect with the world after his success as a musician. He thinks the people around him are becoming different and stranger, and he wants to cut his connection with the band's song Creep. If Pablo Honey was about that kind of adolescent awkwardness, the Benz is about young adult dread. It's the sound of a band in their mid-20s realizing that fame is hollow, the world is broken, and all of their friends are becoming emotionally unavailable now that they're famous. It's also Radiohead looking out the window and realizing they don't belong in the kind of Britpop or grunge regions of music that they were trying to put themselves into. They're in a post-Nirvana, pre-OK Computer world, stuck between the American grunge angst and the UK weird coolness, and it's very much a transition period, if you get what I'm saying. I just realized I have the CD here and I haven't been showing it off, so I'll just have it in front of me now, as we talk about some of the best songs on the album. Firstly, we've got to talk about the opener I mentioned already, Planet Telex. It was originally a drunken jam session. Thom allegedly recorded the vocals when he was so drunk that he had to lie on the floor. Proper icon behavior. This song is soaked to the brim in digital reverb, and it's great. It's clear that we're not in the amateurity of Pablo Honey anymore, and the lyrics sound cosmic but deeply personal at the same time, I guess. The one that stands out to me is everything is broken, everyone is broken. Another of the best is High and Dry. This was one of the most emotionally direct songs that I think Radiohead have ever made. There's no funny business, it's just a clean guitar tone and a sad melody. It's definitely not as complex as some of the other songs on here, and that might be why Radiohead don't really like the song anymore, but that's also what makes it one of the best on the album. It talks about no longer feeling connected to someone you once knew, with lyrics like, "You broke another mirror, you're turning into something you're not." There's that theme of connection again that's so ever present in Radiohead's work. We've also got to talk about My Iron Lung. Musically, this song is the template for future Radiohead. The guitar playing on this one is just above and beyond, in my opinion, and the sudden shift into the chorus is great as well, and if you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Go listen to the whole album, actually. It's great. It's named after the iron lung devices that people use to treat polio, not the funny submarine game. It's about how restricted the band felt by Creep, and it shows their feeling of being put into a box really well, I think. Other than My Iron Lung, the other obvious best song is the outro Street Spirit Fade Out. It's built around a hypnotic guitar line that loops a bit like a broken record. Street Spirit is a meditation on death and hopelessness, and also maybe love, I'm not sure. There's no rise and fall to this song, there's no big chorus, it's just a kind of steady descent. It's relentless, it's beautiful, and I would argue that it's the first of Radiohead songs to sound truly, I guess, apocalyptic in the way that some of the stuff on OK Computer and Kid A does, if you get what I'm saying. Tom has said that it was inspired by, I think, Ben Okri's novel, The Famous Road, which I've never personally read, but I love this song, so I might give it a go. The final line, "Immerse your soul in love," is one of the most devastating closers in Radiohead's catalogue, I think. Up there with the end of In Rainbows on videotape, which I'll get to that album another day. I won't spoil it for you now. Unfortunately, as with every album, there's just going to be some songs that aren't as good as the others, no matter how perfect the album is, and that's definitely also true on this one. To me, the song Sulk just feels a little out of place. It has a really upbeat tone, which is not only strange because the Benz is a really melancholic album, but the song is also about something that really also doesn't fit the upbeat tone. I'm gonna embrace my inner Wendigoon for a second here. So, Sulk is about the mass murder that occurred in Hungerford, I think, in Berkshire, England, on August 19th, 1987. 17 people, including the perpetrator, were killed in the massacre. The song originally ended with the lyrics, "Just shoot your gun," but it was changed before the song was released because rock music fans, especially fans of Radiohead's previous kind of grunge album, in the mid-90s, hearing a song with sad lyrics about guns, are gonna think about the sad thing where the grunge guy just shot his gun the year before, but at himself. You know, this guy. So again, well-written song, good song, just a bit confusing, I guess. We also got to talk about the cover that you've been staring at for a couple of minutes now. It's an iconic cover. It's a picture of a CPR dummy on a TV screen, which is what gives it that glitchy effect. Like, it's a picture of a screen. You know what I mean if you've tried to do it yourself. It was made with the help of Stanley Donwood, a friend of Thom Yorke, who would go on to help with all of the Radiohead album covers, as far as I'm aware. Donwood described the picture as a facial expression like that of an android discovering for the first time the sensation of ecstasy and agony simultaneously. Personally, I prefer the term "She Radiohead" on my Benz Till I album cover, but, you know, up to you, personal preference. Originally, they wanted an Iron Lung as the cover, in reference to the song My Iron Lung, obviously, which is a song that kind of encapsulates the main theme of the whole album. Unfortunately, iron lungs are not that interesting to look at, they found, so they went with this instead. So yeah, overall, listen, The Benz isn't a perfect album by any means, nor is it Radiohead's best. They tried to escape the image of them that was created by Creep and Pablo Honey, and this was definitely a successful rebrand. Overall, I'm feeling like I'm gonna give this album 8.5 Iron Lungs. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, you probably like Radiohead, and you probably also like my reviews. So consider subscribing to see when my next videos come out. The next one is going to be about OK Computer, and why that might be the greatest rock album of all time. So yeah, that's next week. Subscribe so I'll see you then. And that's everything for today. Bye.